Carrie here from Miss Carrie's Creations. A few weeks ago you saw me create this magical birthday layout and this magical Christmas layout using the Everyday Moments magical unicorn key. Today we are going to be creating this magical beauty bag using some of our Iron-On HTV. Today I'm going to show you how I created this design in Cricut Design Space and use the Easy Press Mini to apply all of this HTV Iron-On vinyl to this beauty bag. Before we get started with the tutorial, take a few minutes to click that subscribe button and the notification icon so that you're notified when new Cricut tutorials are added to my channel. Let's start designing this beauty bag in Cricut Design Space. I have gone into my image library and I'm going to click on image sets. I know that the magical unicorn design is in the Everyday Moments collection and this is the easiest way to find it. Once I am in my image sets, I'm going to search for Everyday Moments, filter ownership to purchased, and then I'm going to scroll down and select two of the keys from this collection. One will be the Today layout and the other will be that magical unicorn key I used on those scrapbook layout videos. Once I've selected both of those designs, I will insert them into my canvas. At this point, I'm going to delete all of the images that I will not need to create that magical beauty bag. I've sped up the video here, as you can tell. All I'm doing is clicking on each image in the Layers panel and selecting Delete on my keyboard to get rid of those images. Here are the images I have chosen to keep to create that magical beauty bag. There are quite a few images I plan to use from that magical unicorn key, and I have also kept that word Today from the other layout. The next step is to insert a template, and I am going to insert a template in the shape of the beauty bag. So I'm going to go into my templates, I'm going to scroll down to Basic Canvas, insert that template into my canvas here, and I'm going to change the size to the size of my beauty bag. Templates do not cut out, they are simply for reference to be able to design your project. To customize this square template, I am going to go to the size drop-down box and select Custom, and then I'm going to change the size of the template to match the size of my makeup bag. If you choose, you can even change the color of this template so you can see what the design will look like as you're creating. My makeup bag is a peach color, so I'm changing it to peach. Templates cannot be moved. They stay right there in place for you to create your design on. Now I'm going to ungroup each one of those images and I'm going to start designing the front of my beauty bag. I'm just dragging each one over to the template there. I'm changing the color, changing the size, creating a variety of layers that I'm going to be cutting out of my Iron-On vinyl. You are going to want to put each image in the place where you want it for your design, and I'll show you why here in a minute. Before we do that, I am going to add a word to the front of this design. I'm going to select Insert Text, and in that text box there, I'm going to type the word Make. I know which font I want to use. It's from the Flower Mark collection, so I'm just going to type that in the search box and select that text. Now, I wasn't quite sure where I wanted it or how big I wanted it, so I did play with it for a minute here, and I did finally decide to place it at a 90-degree angle right there on its side, going vertically next to the word Today. Remember how I told you that you're going to want to place the images in the exact location on your design. Right now, if I were to click Make It, you can see that Cricut automatically puts every single image in the top left-hand corner of the mat, which means that as it's cutting out of the HTV vinyl, I would have to cut these stars apart by hand so that I could place them down onto my bag in their exact location. And honestly, I don't want to do that much work. The words Make and Today have the same issue. They're not in the correct location that I want them in for my design. So let's exit out of this and let me explain to you why I created the design exactly how it's going to be on my makeup bag. Cricut has a feature called Attach, and I have done a tutorial in the past explaining Attach, but I just want to do a quick refresher with you. Attached is used to attach lines or text to an image or to attach images in place. That is what we are going to do here today. We have placed all of these images where we want them on our design, and we are going to use the attach feature to keep these images in place when it cuts out our HTV vinyl. Over in the Layers panel, I am going to hold down my Control key or Command if you have a Mac, and I'm going to select the like colors. So here I have the two sets of stars that I am selecting, and then I'm going to click on Attach. I'm going to do the same thing with the word Today and the word Make. I'm holding down my Control key or Command with Mac, selecting both images, then selecting Attach. Now when I select Make It, those images are going to be attached in place on the mat. So we're going to scroll down to those little stars, and you're going to see that there's a bit of a difference from when we clicked Make It previously. Now these stars are attached in the exact place where I put them on the design of my makeup beauty bag. The Make and the Today are the same way. Those are spaced exactly how I designed them on the front of my makeup bag. Before I cut these out of my vinyl, I do need to mirror each one of these mats. So I'm just clicking on each mat and then selecting that little toggle button that says Mirror. Whether you have an Air 2 or a Maker, you're going to want to set the material to the appropriate vinyl. So you're going to change your Air 2 to the custom materials. Your Maker will automatically come up with this set material option. With both machines, you will choose Browse All Materials and then select the vinyl you are using for the project. I am using the Close to My Heart Glitter HTV and the regular HTV. So I'm just going to type in the word Iron-On and select the appropriate materials. So right here is the Glitter Iron-On, and here is the Everyday Iron-On. And with the Close to My Heart Iron-On, I have realized that you need to add more pressure on that little pressure drop-down box. It does remind you to make sure your mirror is turned on, so just go ahead and double check that over there on the side, and then we can go ahead and start cutting. I am using a standard grip green mat for my HTV vinyl. Iron-On vinyl has a glossy side and a matte side, and you're going to want to put it glossy side down on the mat. This glossy side is your carrier sheet that helps you get that iron-on onto the project. So I'm just going to go ahead and place this onto my mat, and I'm grabbing my Cricut brayer to make sure that I have all of the wrinkles and bubbles out before I place it into my machine. You're going to hear my Cricut machine here in the background. I just have our standard blade cutting the vinyl. I've inserted the mat into the machine, I've pressed go, and you'll see that it is going to cut through the vinyl. It does not cut through that backing sheet. Because we chose Iron-On vinyl as our selected material, it knows the correct pressure to cut, so it doesn't cut all the way through the backing sheet, it only cuts through the vinyl. If it does cut through the backing sheet, you may need to change the pressure on your machine. After unloading my mat, I am going to have to select a new material before cutting the black vinyl. The black vinyl is a glitter HTV vinyl. I'm going to click on this arrow next to Material Set, choose Browse All Materials, and search Glitter Iron-On Vinyl. Then I'm going to choose Glitter Iron-On, select More Pressure again for the Close to My Heart HTV that I'm using. Make sure all of my mirror is on for this mat, and then I'll start cutting. Just like before, I will place that vinyl glossy side down on the mat. I will place it into my machine, and I will use a standard blade to start cutting out this vinyl. Now that everything has been trimmed and cut out, we can start weeding the vinyl, which is where you remove all of the excess that you don't need. I like to use Cricut weeding tools, but there are other options out there. You're going to start in a corner where there is not an image cut, and you're going to slowly pull that vinyl off the backing sheet. Now it does take a minute to get started, especially with the glitter ones. They are super, super thick. But once you start pulling away from the backing sheet, you're able to get all of the rest of that vinyl off. So I've sped up the video a little bit here, as you can tell, and I am just getting all of that glitter vinyl off of the backing sheet. And I'm also taking out each one of the centers of the letters using that weeding tool. I'm also going to trim the remaining backing sheet around this word. Sometimes the glitter vinyl has a little bit of residue on the backing sheet, and that residue will get on your project. So I always like to trim around my glitter vinyl images. I'm going to repeat the weeding process with each one of those vinyl sheets, pulling the vinyl off of the backing sheet. Again, trimming the ones where I used glitter vinyl just so I don't end up with some of that extra residue on my project. The everyday vinyl or plain HTV is much easier to weed. You can see it just comes right off of those backing sheets. There's hardly any work to it. The teal color here is a Cricut Everyday Iron-On vinyl. We do not carry teal on our Close to My Heart websites. Here I have all of the parts and pieces weeded and ready to layer, and I'm just getting a visual of the order they need to be placed down on my project. Something to note about glitter vinyl. It always has to be placed down last. It cannot have any other vinyl on top of it. So the black and the red are going to have to be my final layer in my project. Here I have an Easy Press mat. I have also plugged in my Easy Press Mini. I have this faux leather beauty bag, which I think was an Ulta giveaway, so some of you may even have this in your stash. Inside there, I have placed a piece of cardboard to help keep it stiff and to prevent the heat from going on the back of the bag. I'm also going to grab a binder clip so that I can keep it nice and flat while I'm working with it. So I've just got this large binder clip, and I'm just going to clip the base of the bag together to keep everything nice and flat. Now, to know the setting for my Easy Press, I need to go to the Cricut Heat Guide website. I will put the link to this website in the description below. You are going to want to bookmark it if you plan on using Iron-On in the future. You have to choose which press you are using. If you're not sure whether you have the original Easy Press or the Easy Press 2, you can click this link and Cricut will help you determine which Easy Press you have. I am using the Easy Press Mini, so I'm going to select that option. Now I need to choose the material that I am using. I'm going to be using some HTV, which is just like Everyday Iron-On, and I'm going to be using a glitter Iron-On HTV. The heat guide is designed specifically for Cricut materials, so if you are using our Close to My Heart vinyl, you may need to experiment a little with the heat times, but I have found that the Everyday Iron-On and the Glitter Iron-On are almost identical to our Close to My Heart vinyl. Now that I've chosen the material, I can select the base material, which is faux leather, and then I'm going to select Apply. After selecting Apply, I can now see all of the settings I need for my project. It tells me how long to preheat the base material. It tells me the temperature I need to set my Easy Press at and how long I need to heat that Iron-On. It tells me the constant movement and pressure needed and whether it's warm peel or cold peel. I'm also shown a list of supplies that I'll need for this project, the pre-project prep, and the application process. Now that I have all of that information at my fingertips, I am going to clean the surface so that I can make it free of any oils or dirt that might be on that surface. Before attaching any of these iron-ons onto the bag, I want to dry fit them so I know where they're going to be placed. This also gives me an idea of the order the layers are going to have to be ironed onto the project. So I'm going to have to start with the stars and then the white layer and then the teal layer and then the two glitter layers. Following the heat guide instructions, I'm going to preheat the base material for 5 seconds and then apply even pressure for 30 seconds. I've gone ahead and set my timer, and I'm going to apply pressure on this side of the bag so that I can heat those stars. Now I'm going to go to the other side, lift up this half, preheat the material for 5 seconds, and then apply even pressure on this side for 30 seconds. The instructions say to do a warm peel, and I'll explain what that means in a minute, but I want to show you what's going to happen if you try to peel it up right away. Right now it is still very hot to the touch, and you can see the adhesive hasn't quite set on the bag, so my stars are starting to peel up. I did not give it enough cool time, so I am going to just go back and fix this, but I wanted to show you what happens when you peel it too soon. This time I set the bag aside to cool until it was warm to the touch because we are doing a warm peel. And you can see that backing sheet just peels right off of those stars. No issues. The adhesive has set and it's very simple to peel off. I'm going to repeat the process with the rest of the white and teal vinyl. There's a small portion of the backing sheet on the Today that's going to go across the star. So I need to take a scrap piece of backing sheet, place it on top of the star, being careful that I'm not placing it behind the Today portion of the vinyl. Now the reason I'm doing this is to prevent a line being created in that star. If I were to heat it with the overlap, it would create a little crease. Again, I am going to preheat the vinyl for 5 seconds, and then I am only going to partially heat set this because we are going to have a second layer on top. So I'm only heating it for 15 seconds. After it has cooled until it is warm to the touch, I'm going to peel off the backing sheet, then place that teal layer on top and do the full 30-second heat. Again, I'll peel off the backing sheet and I'll start prepping for the glitter vinyl. The first thing I need to do is go to that heat guide and see what my settings are for glitter vinyl. Once again, I'm selecting the Easy Press Mini. I'm going to select Glitter Iron-On, and my base material is faux leather. Now remember that this is for Cricut Glitter Iron-On. You might need to adjust it a little bit for the Close to My Heart Glitter Iron-On vinyl. I have preheated the bag, and then I'm going to place those eyelashes down in place. Before I heat set them, I'm going to place down this heat resistant mat. I'll put the link to this down in the description below. This mat protects all of the other vinyl I've already laid down from getting destroyed by the Easy Press. I love having this mat, especially when I'm layering vinyl. The last piece to place down was the little magical title, and it is right along the crease, so I am having the most difficult time getting it to stay in place. So I went and gotten my heat resistant tape. This is a product that Cricut offers, and it's just right here in my washi tape dispenser. It works perfectly for this tape, and I'm going to tape this word in place. Since this is heat resistant tape, it will not affect the project at all, but it does prevent the magical title from slipping off of the bag while I'm heating everything in place. Again, I'm going to preheat where that title is going to go. Then I'll place that heat resistant mat on top and heat the glitter vinyl for 30 seconds. Once the glitter iron-on had cooled until it was warm to the touch, I was able to peel off the backing sheet from both of them. Since that tape was heat resistant, it did not leave any residue on the bag. To finish off the project, I created a tassel using some red and teal twine and added a flower charm onto that little zipper handle. This magical beauty bag was simple to make using those images from the Everyday Moments collection. This is a project you could easily make with your daughters or create it for a bridal shower gift. I want to thank you for joining me today as we created another Reimagined Magical Unicorn project. I hope you were inspired to try something new and give HTV Iron-On a try. New projects are added every week to my blog and YouTube channel. If you enjoyed today's Cricut tutorial and wish to see more in the future, make sure to click the subscribe button and notification icon so you're notified when new videos are added. If you wish to see more projects like this one, you can click on the collection icon above. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see what you create.